Okay, next up we have Dr. Rosan Yoshida. He is the founder of the Missouri Zen Center, and that was in 1979, so he's been with our community, St. Louis community, for quite some time now. Dr. Yoshida is a scholar of languages, and he has been involved in several translations of important texts. He's also a well-known author, written several books, articles, and one of his main focuses right now is on the global ethic, which he became involved in with the World Parliament, and they declared in 1993 their a global ethic, declaration of the global ethic. Technology. Does anyone have any questions about the Buddhist Council in general? Anything about the Buddhist Council? We will be having our annual celebration in May of the birth, death, and May the 20th.
Yes.
Oh, it's going to be here also. Okay, May 20th, upstairs. So please join us for that also. It's a very, very nice celebration. Okay, and with that, I'll hand it over to Rosan.
Okay, thank you. Sorry to take time. Okay, I'd like to talk in 4 steps. First, what is global ethic? Maybe not familiar, you're not familiar with. And then what are the problems? How can we solve them? Then how can we practice? First, what is global ethic? 1993, there was a Parliament of the World Religions gathering in Chicago. That was a second parliament after 100 years. Because the world was very afraid of maybe nuclear wars. So the end of the world clock went very close to the midnight. So all over the world, peace movement came in. And so religious people gathered again in Chicago. The first one was the first time when all the world religions gathered together. Second time, now how we can make peace. That time, I attended the parliament, and declaration toward a global ethic on 4 principles or directives, irrevocable directives. Can you see? Okay. Non-violence and respect for life, solidarity and just economic order, tolerance and life of truthfulness, equal rights and partnership between men and women. This is actually the first 4 of 5 precepts of Buddhists. I thought this is good. Before, religions fought to get made wars for their beliefs. But now if we decide not to kill first or steal, etc., before beliefs. So I am devoting to this global ethic. What is this? Essentially, first, life. Without life, nothing starts. No killing. Lower part shows Buddhist 4 precepts out of 5, which all Buddhists, lay or renunciant, observe. No stealing, no lying, no sexual misconduct. On life, matter, information, and now in time, generation. We need a harmonious system. This is a fundamental thing. And we need ethics to act in total way. We need matter, material things, in dynamic way, and need information, preventive for the future. Now, we have global problematic. Why we call it, all the problems are interrelated. So we call global problematic. First, our population explosion. Now, not 6 billion, we are already 7 billion. We use a lot of material, electricity. We have a lot of energy use. So, per capita, our globe is shrinking. So, our forest shrinking. Not only because of population, but our harvesting, cutting trees. You know already the global warming going up and up. And our land is changing. Ice melting. Ozone holes getting bigger. Earthquakes everywhere. Last year, about 1 year ago, we had a magnitude 9 earthquake in Japan, and then tsunami, and then nuclear disaster. The world is one, so the dust, sun dust go around the globe. Now, water is decreasing. The ice melting from Himalaya, etc. So the water supply is decreasing. We use a lot for agriculture, etc. And also we waste too much water, flooding. And too much use. And so mangrove, forest, etc. are diminishing. We had Chernobyl nuclear disaster. Now, just 1 year ago, we had at Fukushima, the second biggest, or maybe, we don't know, still spewing radiation. The government announced 168 Hiroshima A bomb. And still radiation is coming out, going around the world. More than 100,000 people evacuated, and they lost their home, maybe permanently, some jobs, communities. So now Japanese people are against nuclear power, more than 70%. Only 2 reactors are working out of 54. And by the end of April, maybe 0. Not only nuclear plants, but nuclear bombs we had to test. That's why we have so-called background radiation. Everybody's affected. And nuclear arsenals are targeted at big cities. We are too. At hair trigger alert, anytime, by mistake or misunderstanding or terrorism, etc. We don't know next moment. So this is the most dangerous thing. So is nuclear power too. We may have earthquake, flooding, tornadoes, terrorism, accident, human errors. Now, in big scale, we had 5 previous mass extinction, sometimes 95%. Now, the 6th one